In this part of the DVD here, you select in a moment. I will go through with you the basic lock. You already done some of that already on the basic exercise, so you can understand now how to do them. But in this particular purpose of this section you're selecting, I'll go with you again through the certain thing you need to know and understand. When you're watching through the DVD, if you're doing the basic already, it's become very, very simple to you. Let me show you some of the movement of the lock so you can understand. Let me borrow you again, Dave. On this one here, we're going to go through. It's basic like if we stand like that and I come to lock him, okay? Basically, underneath, the most important thing, come underneath your hand here, come over like this. And then put your hand into here and lock. Make sure that his arm is into your armpit and lock it in like that. That's the most important thing that you need to understand. So basically, you're coming in, no more. Grab the hand here, then bring the hand here, and then lock like this, okay? So the idea is like that. Coming in, grab, pull, and then lock like that. Now when you turn around, you sit there and you fall, oh, what about if you tense your arm? Tense your arm if you do that. That's very easy. We will go through with you again on the next bit so you can understand. We'll cover everything you need to know so you know exactly everything, where everything are. Next bit I'm going to go through with you now is a basic one. When you come into handshake, so if you see your partner or when you're training with your partner, when you're doing the handshake or you're coming in and handshake with your mate or whatever and you want to put him into the lock, or you come in to arrest somebody and then put him in a lock through the handshake. This doesn't really matter. Let me guide you from long on this so you know exactly how to do them. When you put it into the handshake like this, yeah, if you take the camera down here so you can understand, when you hold the hand like this, the most important thing is you have to understand it. When you grab hold like that, you have to turn your hand, okay? You have to turn your hand into here like this and then hold on the top of that. As soon as when you hold on top of that, you need to push this arm down like that. So on the thumb here down. As soon as down here, you grab and then put him into lock in here. Okay, that's the most important thing. We start with that again so you can understand. So like that, turn, put, back here, and then lock, okay? That is the thing. When you put him in lock in here, you can in full control what you want to do with him on that movement there. Very, very basic, very simple. When you start to work like that, the most important thing of you are the understanding how to turn your wrist, pull him down like that when you do them. Next one I'm going to go with you is coming in and put into the finger full lock. When you grab the hand like this, coming over and have this hand here like this and back like that, okay, on the shoulder. So let me show you through one slogan. You can do two. One, grab the hand like this and dip your hand into here and then turn and then lock like this into that. So you basically, you can throw them later on. You do a lot that on the throwing. Next one you can able to do exactly the same again. Grab the hand here, underneath the arm here, grab that bit here, then turn it over and go like this. Okay, so you can control, you throw them this way if you want, no different. When you do that, make sure you have the elbow here. Grab the elbow, grab the hand, the wrist here, and then turn and work on this particular one here. Very, very basic lock, very, very basic movement. Next one I'm going to go through with you now is when you come in across like that and then grab, turn this hand into here. Turn your hand here and turn your body and then force him down like that. Okay, when you're doing this particular lock, down like that here. On this particular one here, when you work on this particular one, grab, okay, and then have your hand into here like this, cross like that, okay, then turn, and then your body turn together like this. Okay, when you turn your body like that and then back and then force that down and you'll be here. That's when you lock them low like that. When you work on this particular movement like this, you will understanding how each one work. Like for instance, you grab in his arm here, turn and then lock. When you lock in this particular one here, you will understanding where they control them. Okay, you will lock in the front if you want. Grab this one, pull and then lock in the front of that if you want. Okay, this is the very, very basic exercise that you need to understand. When you're understanding this basic exercise, you move it on, it can become very simple. Watching through this part of the DVD, so you're understanding how I do them. Grab hold of your opponent's wrist, Bring his elbow toward your shoulder and bend his wrist back. Control his arm. Take control of your opponent by coming in with a handshake. Bring his hand down using his thumb, using the other hand to grab his head, and then swap his arm round his head, bringing him into your thigh to lock him up. Grab your opponent's hand and put him into the lock by controlling the elbow. This lock is very useful for later on. Grab his arm and move round behind him. Force his arm up to his shoulder and take him down so you can handcuff him later on. In this particular one here, I will go through with you through the basic lock again, but this time it's slightly different to this. This time, when you arrest someone and then your opponent come in and tense their hand, what you do to them? When you're watching through this, you're watching through all the bit you need to see that if they resist, you need to hit them where it's supposed to be hitting them, so you know exactly where to hurt. Where they feel the pain come along, then you coming back and to lock them. Let me guide you along slowly, one at a time, so you can understand it. When you start to understand this, when you're watching through, you know exactly where to hit your opponent to relax him before you lock them up. Let me bother you again, Dave. This particular one here, for instance, if he stands still where he is, come in a bit closer, here. When he's in this position and I want to come in, try to lock him up, to arrest him, okay? Now first I come in to go like that, and he stamps his hand like that, so it's difficult for me to lock. Now on this purpose at the moment, I won't talk about, what about, oh, if he grab your hand like this, he's going to punch me this side. Don't worry about that yet. We fix them later, just one at a time so I can explain to you what you need to do, so when you're watching through the DVD, you know exactly what we're talking about. First, when he grabs that and he tense, so it's difficult to lock. The arm here, the bit in the top of the hand here, the tricep, you need to make sure, boom, that hand hit. As soon as hit into here, then you come back, and then you come back here, and you lock them up. Now the idea of the lock, you've done exactly the same, okay? But because of his relaxed hand, it's easy for you to lock. When he start to tense, okay, it's very tense your hand, it's difficult to lock. You sit there wrestling with him. You can lock him two different ways. You can either grab it this way and lock him. If you got a problem this hand come lock him, okay? The elbow coming in hit into here, one into here, then they come back, and then you lock him up. If you grab in this hand, and you got a problem, hit hand here, and come back and lock him up. It's as simple as that. So that is how you're dealing with that movement here. Next bit, I'm going to go through with you, exactly the same again. When I grab to here, instead of hit our hand here, and this guy, we're not talking about normal person. We're talking about a big, strong guy. I mean, his arm is rock hard, and you hit his hand here, it's like he just sit there laughing at you. The idea when you work with this, boom here, and as soon as he tense hand, he don't feel anything, boom, that's elbow come land. Then he come back here, then you put him into lock. The idea I try to get across here, if you want to lock somebody up, doesn't matter how big they are and what they are, you're going to lock them up, provide you know where to hit them. When you have your hand and hit them, and because your hand has hit them, make sure here and here it's a one line. Don't bring your hand back like that to hit them, because he will know straight away. Boom like that, when he hit, that will come along here, then grab this hand here and come back and then put into a lock. Okay, that's a very, very basic movement, and that's very basic hit when you hit them. This time we're going to talk to you about very simple move again. When I grab him here and he hit me on this side, punch, yeah? Now, the idea is when I grab his hand here, he know he's going to get a rest. He won't let me do that or let me lock him up. So he's going to resist. So when I go grab the hand like that, he punch me. Boom, I grab the hand here. Because I grab the hand in here, I hit him from here and come back here. And same thing again. From here, I grab the hand, come in here, ping it in to your armpit and ping this hand down. Now, you're going to understanding one thing is because human being is reacts on thing. Meaning, if I start to grab him and he punch me and I hit him, okay? When I hit him, I pull in, he will tense the arm here. That's the fact, okay? That's what you got, let you understand that. That's the fact. When he tense here, now I try to lock him up here now. I can't now because his arm very strong here. The most important thing is when he started turning him, let me show you one again. When he come into here, yeah, and he hit me, I'm back, I hit him. First, he tense, I hit him. I already relaxed him once, but I hit him like that. Second, I change, he tense the arm again, okay? Now, because I'm changing, he tense the hand, my arm here turn and hit him here, right back the hand here, okay? And he's not relaxed yet, and that's when I come back, the hit is going, boom, when it's going, come back here. And I come in to lock him up. So that is the idea I try to come across. Basically, if you want to lock them, you're going to lock them regardless. What you're trying to do, you're going to lock them. Now let's get another point in so you can understand. So you got any question you come across, you got problem with, I will solve it all here so you know exactly how to do them. When you're watching through the DVD, you know exactly how to deal with it. Next, when they come into here, okay, hook me to that one again, hit. And I hit him already here, and he tense the arm, I hit him. And he's slightly still tense, I hit him in the core, he's slightly relaxed, I come in here. As soon as I come to here, he wrists that the tense, okay? He wrists that tense, so I try to do this, but I got a problem. As soon as I have to here, I have the arm here, but I still can't not try to lock him up in control of the movement because he wrist tense. That's where your hand come in here. As soon as that's when they come in here, hit the back of the hand. And he feel that, then he relax. When he relax, I can in full control. You make sure that bit in the armpit here, lock, and you're in full control, you know exactly where to hold him and what to do with him. And that is the whole point of this movement here. Whatever you're doing, whatever he's trying to do, doesn't really matter because you're understanding the full control of each one, okay? Let me show you one on this one here so you can get it easy to understand. When you hold this hand, yeah, the most important thing when you hold any hand, you make sure, put your hand out like that, is grab lightly into here a bit. If you grab into here, yeah, like that here, so it's difficult for him, grab it tight, so it's difficult for him to try to move his hand out of the way, try to lock. So that's where you got control. Now you're in control here, basically. You're in full control of know where he is, where all the hand and all the joint. Every time you turn his hand to try to lock, yeah, you make sure that hand got to come up like that. So that one can go in. If you go like that and try to push that in, you're not going to be able to push that hand in like this, okay, when you lock them, okay? Now when you grab hold of this, you make sure this hand got to be turned like this, and this hand will go, so that will go together. And that's key points, you've got to understand that. And secondly, when you start to grab hold behind here, and he start to tense here, tense, and that's when your elbow from here to here have to lay. Here to here have to go in. So here to here have to go in. As soon as that go in, you can turn, okay? That's important. And when you're here, if you try to punch me from here, or try to hook me from here, your hand is here, then you come back, and this hand will come up, okay? Ultimately, hit him, walking and going here, you come out the hand here. So one is here, you come back, and you lock him up. So basically, you're able to turn. The most important, you need to know where the joint of the body is, you got to turn. As soon as you know where to turn them, then you hit them in the places it's painful. Thank you for that. That's the whole idea of the exercise. When you're watching through all this movement here, you know exactly how I do them.
This exercise is the same as the last, but if your opponent resists, punch his bicep to relax his arm, then go into the lock as before. If your opponent continues to resist, punch into his bicep and then elbow into his chest. As soon as he became relaxed, move into the lock as before. When you came in to take control of your opponent and he hooked you, blocking the punch, then bring his arm back into your armpit to lock him up. If he tries to hit you with the free hand, apply some pressure into the wrist.
In this particular one here, you slack at the moment. I will go through to the basic exercise again. As you already see some already, the pass out, lock, control them, put them down the floor, how to control them when you do this particular exercise. So when you're watching through the DVD, you know how to do them. I will explain to you more about it, why we do this sort of exercise and why we do what we do. Let me follow you again, Dave. In this particular one here, I will go through again the pass out. Okay, from this pass out here, we go, you already see some of that already. If you haven't, then I'll go hand, 1, 2. Here, and then back. When you start understanding this, you come back here, and then take him to the lock, from here to lock. When you done this lock here, you want to put him down the floor. Now, from this training, let you understanding how to control your opponent and put them down the floor safe, like that. So when he come down like that, down here, he will go down with you when he want to come down. So you can throw them across and then you try to lock them up later. The idea is you got to make sure that you got the arm here and then control where you are and then take them down. If you come down and then you don't put enough movement in here and very loose and you go down like that, you will lose him. So you make sure that tight together and then you go down like that. And then you go down, then you come up again. Okay, that's exercise. Then we go back and practice this particular one here. If you want to go to other side, for instance, grab and then change into this particular movement like that, as you see here, and then go down. From here you want to go down, you just go down like that. Okay, then you come up again. The idea is let you work with this particular like understanding that and get used to it. When you come down the floor, all the time work like that. You grab to your opponent, you will put him down the floor where you want, and then you control them where you want to do. Bring it back here again. Now from here, I will go through with you another basic movement. If he punch you, grab him and change him to the front and put him down to the front. So he punch me, come along, I 1 and then I 2. Come back here and I lock. When I in the lock here, I can put down here by 1, but I bring him this side here, you already see the change. I come back on this change here. So basically, I want to be in the full control of him where he is, so I can see where he is, so I can put him down. So I put him down, I put him down like that. My knee like come further that, so I can see where he is. From here, I can use that to throw him across and then put him down where I want him and then handcuff him up later if I needed to. So when you come up again, and you go back to the particular movement like that. Punch coming in, 1, 2, back again, grab, lock. Turn your body on this side, bring him in here and lock him up. When he into here, this and drop your body down. So in a position where you want him. Throw him if you want, bring him up here. And then bring him back here again. The idea why we're doing this particular movement, to control them and do that, Because if you grab your opponent and want to lock him up, very difficult to lock them up if you don't put him down the floor. You're already watching through all the basic exercise already, how to search your opponent, how to come in to search them, how to lock them up behind, and then put them down the floor, where to pin your leg. I won't want to go through that with you because you already see that on the basic, on a searching, on the movement. If you haven't looked on that section, you will see more about it. This one, I only interested in go through with you is the basic movement, where to hold the hand and how to control them and how to put them down. Let me guide you one more slowly on that so you can understand how to control that. For instance, I'm going for the punch drill when I punch. So when he punch, hit, when he from here, I come back here. When I come back here, I need to grab this hand and bring it in and here. Now I can put him down the floor from here if I want to. The most important thing is when I push him down, and if you do with that, your opponent, and your opponent don't let you go down, and if I go down, they stay where you are, and I go down, he stay, yeah? When you want to put him down, you need to push this pressure of this arm here in a bit. So when in at that, so you want to put him down, he will go. So you're in full control of him. How you want to work with him, it's up to you how you want to work with him. Then bring him up again. If you want to change him around and bring him back here, bring him back in this position here, okay? Now if you want to go down on here and you do exactly the same and he stay where he is and you going down and he won't let you, yeah? So you go like that and he try to push it and try to push him down. See, watch, boom here, he will go. So you go where you want him to go. It's not he decide where you want to go, it's you decide where you want him. That's only time you can control of your opponent and understanding where you want him. That is very important of this particular exercise. Practice on this a lot so you can understand how to control. If your opponent resists, or your partner resists, put some detention to your wrist, onto his wrist so he can understand the pain. When he understands the pain, he will go where you want him to go, not he want to go where he want to go. Watching through this part of the DVD so you can understand exactly how to do them.
This exercise is exactly the same but combine the two together. As you progress through the DVD, you will add the technique together bit by bit. It looks simple, but it's actually very difficult to control your opponent safe. You must practice the exercise if you are going to be able to use the technique when you already need them. This exercise is the same as the last, but taking your opponent down the ground. This will teach you how to do it after you locking your opponent up. This will give you more control over your opponent. You will need this when you move on to the handcuff your opponent later on.
In this particular exercise, I want to go forward you is how to go in arrest your opponent, or arrest someone, or coming in to try to play around with them, grab the hand, and then if you try to resist, what you need to do, for instance, or if you're the policeman, try to arrest somebody, or you're the security man, doesn't really matter. This particular exercise, I will go forward you. You will understanding how to control and how to deal with each situation properly. Each one, it has its own unique way of doing so. Let me guide you along slowly so you can understand it. When you start to understand it, when you're watching full activity, then you know exactly how to do them. Very, very simple training. Let me borrow you again, Dave. On this particular one here, when you are coming to arrest someone, so I coming in like that and grab, and when he coming to hook me, that's what happened. That's the natural reaction when I come in like that, okay? And he's coming to hook me, okay? And that's when my hand come in here. As soon as my hand come in here, my hand come across like this. I can come up here and hit to the face and come down. But the idea I want to doing this one here, hit and come down like this. That's what I want to do. When I've done this particular one here, I will turn him over, okay? Then he will go down, and that's when I have my knee into his hand here. You see a lot of this basic exercise already on that, and the movement on that, how to put the knee into here. I wouldn't want to go into the detail on that. Up again. I will go through with you through all the movement that you need to know. All the bits that there, you already see that already, so I don't need to go through that with you. I need to tell you where to hold the hand, how to pull them down, so you can understand. Let me show you that one once more again. So when I come back here, I grab, you hook, hit, that's the most important, hit, hand here. You've got to make sure this hand have to put the shoulder down. And when you put the shoulder down, you need to ping him. Okay, ping him and drop like this. Okay, that's the idea that I want to put into you. So when you hear ping him down, and then turn your body this way so you can control him, in that control of him, where he is, and then you turn your hand. When you start understanding that particular movement of the hand, when you hit him once, and your body, he relaxes and then controls your arm, then you can understand how to chuck him down the floor and then lock him up. Next one I'm gonna go forward you is when you put the hand into your opponent's chest like that, and then he come and twat you one in the face on this hand, for instance, like that. When he started coming here, you really wrist lock him. When he done that, you bring him across, then you lock, then you drop your body down like this, so he control here. Then you can put him over here, then you start to put the leg on to his wrist. Put it onto the knee to onto his wrist. Up again. The idea why I try to come across now is how to you react on that minute in time. Now, how do you react on that? Let me show you so you can understanding. When you're watching it, you watch it see so quickly, and you fall, how he do that? When you put the hand here, okay, so you understand, you need to understand the line here. Okay, you need to understand. If I put the hand in, he's going to punch. So I got understanding when the punch come in my face, in this line, so here he punch, I turn. You already done that punch exercise, punch this side. You already understanding where to hold the hand, yeah? You already understanding that. So I don't need to go through that because you already got the idea. Now, if you haven't got that, when you're doing this, you will have problem because you don't know where you are, because each one you do is built up to each thing you're doing. And if you don't do the basic thing, it's going to be difficult as you moving along. So I have my hand into here, okay? When he punch, I turn. I quickly turn, and I quickly turn, and I quickly turn, and I quickly turn. That is how movement that I want to put it on, because when I start to have all this movement out in one go and all the movement working together, then it's very difficult for him to know what I'm trying to do. Because he don't know what I'm trying to do, I'm in full control of what's going on there. And he's in pain. Now I tell you what's going on here. When he started coming in, he punched. First, I started coming to wrist lock him. So he feels that he felt this way, in pain. Second, I will change. So from here, I will change. As soon as I change, I hit him to his arm here. So he's in pain. As soon as in pain, I have that in pain. As soon as I in pain, I chop. And that's in pain. And then I start to work into my movement. So the movement you have to be able to understand it when you have to hear he punch, have to be wrist lock, bring it in, lock, and then chop. That's the whole idea. Go let your whole body functional. So when you start to get whole body functional, you can start put the technique on fast. Okay, that's what we're trying to talk to you about. Fast. If you don't understand the pass out energy drill, you won't be able to grab properly. If you don't grab properly, you can't do the work well. Okay. Next one we're going to show you here is when you put the hand into here, and then start to come and punch from here, for instance. Okay. Now I come and doing that, but this time instead of doing that, I put the hand into here. He tried to put my hand, try to grab my hand here, for instance. When he started to grab my hand into here, on this movement here, I will go back and hit him from here, straight into the arm here, okay? And if he punch me from here, I come back here and turn your body down this way. And when I turn my body down this way, I turn this to use to push him across, okay? So the idea is, when I have my hand here, I can use him to push him across down like that. When you have your hand into here, it's easy for you to push here, to guide him, to know where you are. When the hand here, if you use opposite hand to grab my hand, then I'm using this hand here to grab and hit. Okay? When that hand comes to hit, I will be able to come back from here, okay, and then drop your body down from here. When that body drop down from here, I'm using this arm here to pin down his shoulder down like that, so he control. Forcing forward, then in pain, then I start to put the leg, my knee into his wrist to control him up again. When you start to understanding all this particular movement of that, where and everything is, it's become very easy to control your opponent. If you start the understanding and then able to control your opponent, then you can go in and do all the movement. Let me show you once more again. Now, if I come in to rest him here and he grab my hand, as soon as I try to grab my hand, try to push me up or grab my hand, I will be come back and elbow come across. Okay, grab hold this hand, elbow will come across. As soon as elbow will come across, I will turn this hand here to take him to the lock, or I come back here and lock him this way and push him down. Now if you come in this way here, you got problem to pull him down, try to push him down the floor, and it's not easy to control him because the ground, then that's why you need to have the control of this. Full control of this, that's easier for you to do this, to doing that particular movement than the other one. So that's why you have so much choice of so many different ones. Another one, for instance, I have here and he punch coming on from here. I have the hand here and he punch from here. I have the hand here, for instance, I come down here. Okay? Now, if I'm not sure where he is here and it's difficult to push him down, I'm going to have problem here, try to push him across because he won't go. Stay ground where you are, then I have problem to ground him. Okay? So you got problem there. When you have a problem there quickly, you got to make sure that this hand come back here to lock him up and change him to the angle you want. If you're in this, you can push him down this way, easier. And if you got problem there, to turn him over, because the ground forcing this way, then you got problem turning here, then bring him up again and change your body, okay, to this size. So you're in line. Chop your body down here. If you force him forward, the ground, he don't let you, grab your head here, you got full control, and just whack him forward here, then that, here, and lock him up like this. Okay, that is how you're going to lock him up again. Doesn't really matter what he's trying to do. If you do this, doesn't matter. If you do that, doesn't matter. That's why you have to have so many different movements on you to get your body functional. When you start to be understanding each thing, then you can understanding how to deal with each problem. Like for instance, coming close here so you can get it. If I have the hand here, for instance, or he come and punch, yeah, he punch. The most important thing I need to understanding the hand. And that's the nerve behind here I need to understand. As soon as I hit here, I feel. As soon as I feel that I will come in and lock, okay, and coming in. Now, when I started coming into this one here, okay, like here, and he punched me this side, this doesn't matter, okay? When he hit me this side, and my hand will be here. That's why I can control it. If he start to move, you got that. Yeah, if you move your hand, then I got that. See, I'm in full control of exactly what I want him to do. Now I can pull him, turn him, wherever. That's why you have to understanding how to control his arm. As soon as you control his arm, you can put him in the pain where you want him. Where you want him on the pain is where you guide him. You guide him where you want him. The most important thing, if you want to put him down the floor, the best one to do is trying this. But if you want to using other one, if I want to using this and I just want to take him down floor flat away, then I grab behind the head here and I fall this way, and then he will go. Okay, thank you. That's the whole idea of this particular exercise, is know how to get your body functional, where they are, where every movement is, put it in and react on it. Have a look at this part of the DVD so you can understanding how to do each thing and do them properly.
When you came in to grab your opponent's hand, place another hand on your opponent's chest. When he came in to hook you, block in the hook and punch him straight into the chest. Bring his arm over to his shoulder and force him down. As you bring him down, swap his arm round to the back and you put your knee onto the wrist to stop him moving around. Grab your opponent, then he punch you. Grab his hand and put into the wrist lock. Turn it round and bring his hand into the armpit. Now drop him onto the floor. Bring his hand round to his back. Then bring your knee into the wrist to keep him in control. You must practice and understand this exercise before you are moving on. Grab your opponent's chest. He hooked you, block in the hook and elbow to the chest. Came on the sides of your opponent and using the elbow to bring him down. Once you're on the floor, bring your arm onto the back so that you can put your knee onto the wrist